Alright, some of you guys may have noticed, and I didn't want to say anything, but if you take a look to your right, you will see that we have a very special guest viewer today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kelsey Grammer is in the house. Frazier, he's here. He's sitting right next to you right now. Oh, it's great. Anyway, so today is something special indeed. We have finally got the KHDK Annihilator II pedal. But before we actually get into this guy today, I would like to take us back. The year is 2020, and things are getting worse. Annihilator version 1 comes out. I've seen a few reviews on it, and it's rad as hell. You know, it's a fairly normal idea. Octaver, boost, big old doily sound. But so I found this video that's like an hour long from these guys called Junkyard Gear that I love, and it got me so excited about the Annihilator. And it made me want one so bad. And they put like another octaver like in the loop of this pedal. They put different reverbs and all this stuff, and it's wildly interesting. It's got the separate effects loop, so you can take that wet octave signal and just send it to other effects or a whole different like amp rig. I thought would be a rad idea. And like the possibilities are, you know, what a cliche, but the possibilities are endless. And that's what made the pedal, that's what made the Annihilator so cool, in my opinion. Like, that's what made it like a $250 pedal. I started to get pretty excited about the Annihilator. It's such a cool thing. I love the red and black. I mean, that's just part of it. But you can't find one for less than $400 or $500. Like, people ask stupid amounts for them. So people have been, you know, asking for a reissue on the Annihilator. And I'm in that same boat, right? So I hit up KHDK a number of months ago, and I'm like, hey, please make another Annihilator. That'd be super dope. I would like one, and I don't have $500 for, you know. So KHDK, they're like, yo, keep an eye out around Halloween. Not gonna say nothing. A little spooky something or other happening. And then one day, I woke up to find that super secret pre-sale link in my emails as per KHDK, and it was done. I was hyped. I bought it. The KHDK Annihilator II was mine. Yep, done. And then I started to take a look at the photos of the pedal, specifically the top of the pedal, and noticed that there's only one set of jacks on it. And then I started looking through like the specs and everything, and there's no effects loop on the pedal. Why? So I get a hold of KHDK again, and I'm like, yo, I got one. And then I noticed the photos, and I'm like, oh shit, is there no send and return? And he said, they go, yes, we removed this and added the additional octave control. Nah, hear me out. Instead of being able to do anything you want with that signal, including a low-pass filter, mind you, what if it's just a low-pass filter? So they said they can see if they'll mod the pedal and add the effects loop in. And then I got re-excited, and I'm like, shit, okay, if I end up getting one with an effects loop, I mean, first of all, great, that's perfect. But also, now I got a unique one, and that's also kind of fun. And they came back with their reasoning, which is fair. They said, Doyle doesn't really use the effects loop. It's something we dreamed up here, so for this one, we removed it. Which is understandable. If Doyle doesn't use the effects loop on his pedal, you know, what need is there for it? But you're making a pedal for guitar players, not just for Doyle. I guess you know, it's his signature pedal, but like, that was just such a huge feature of his other pedal, like the same pedal. It's the Annihilator. So I ended up emailing them again, and I'm like, hey, any updates? It's been a few weeks. Is there, you know, are you able to mod my pedal? Can you put the effects loop in there? How is that looking? And they come back with, unfortunately, after going through the board, there is no space for the effects loop, and it would be quite labor-intensive to create it and would cost the same as another pedal. So on this pedal, it is not possible. It seems kind of backwards. Like, this seems like the first version of the pedal, and the second version would have the effects loop and be the more advanced version. And, like, in my opinion, that seems like the way it should have gone. You made a lighter version of the pedal, which is fine, but it costs the same. I would also like to point out that the spec list on the website is super weird for the new V2. If you go to the specifications list on the KHDK website for this new pedal, under the octave setting, it says, the octave knob adds a signal shifted 1 octave down. It's an analog circuit with exceptional tracking, keeping your tone clear and treble free. It works great on low tunings and is excellent with a bass guitar as well. Do you need to activate it with the octave switch? And I don't understand why they're asking me. Like, is that a is that an actual question about the pedal that's just on the website for some reason? Or are you asking me if I have to do... I don't know. This is the spec list. You shouldn't be asking me stuff. And then another one, under the boost definition or whatever, it says boost knob. Boost the mix of the 3 signal paths, direct plus octave plus octatone, at which the octatone isn't a separate... I don't think the octatone is a separate signal either. Isn't it just applied to the octave? Either way, it says the boost knob boosts the mix of the 3 signal paths, direct plus octave plus octatone. Activate it with the boost switch. For soloing, you can use a preset transparent tone, activated by turning your boost on. Does that mean they should leave the knob in the center position? Who are you talking to? Does that mean they should leave the knob in the center position? Like, I feel like it was like somebody who was I feel like it was somebody who had notes on these lines that they were typing, and they never removed the editor notes. Does that mean they should leave the knob in the center position? Like, are you talking about the people who buy the pedal? Who is they? I don't understand what's happening. Alright, time for some math. So we got ourselves an ESP M2, we got ourselves the KHDK Annihilator II, and then we've got ourselves the Mesa Road King 2. Now that equals 6... We've got 6 units of metal, alright? Probably don't really care about this part, but here's clean. That is Deactivator X by DiMarzio Bridge, Air Classic neck, and then they're actually series parallel. Ooh. We've got ourselves 6 total units of doominess. Everything is at noon o'clock on the clock right now. So before we get into the nitty-gritty chug-chugs, well, here's just a little bit of clean nothing so we can see what just the pedal does by itself. So it got quieter. So these are actually going to be 0 to 100 mix knobs. So when everything's at noon, you're going to be at 50% signal. So we're going to go ahead and make our direct a lot louder so we don't have that drop in volume. Cool. So I don't hear much of the octave sound, so we'll start to bring that in there. Ooh, there he is. So just brings in that little octave sound. It makes it a lot bigger, fatter, funner. So I'm gonna kill the direct signal so we can see what just the octave is doing. So it's pretty bassy, stubby, and that's what the octatone, the new advanced octatone feature. If we bring it all the way to the left, it's very subby, just some low subby frequencies. And then as we bring this over to the right, just kind of brings in more treble, and it's more full range. Kind of starts to get a little bit glitchy sometimes, but that's part of the fun. Cool. So we've got that's an octave sound right there. Okay. Yeah, so there's your full range of the yeah, so that's that's fun. There's the whole range of your octatone feature. Sounds alright. Let's see what the boost is doing here. So that is just, so we're just gonna go straight up clean. We'll see how the boost does. Okay, it gives you, yeah, it's just a clean boost. You know? Starting to get a bit sputtery. But, you know, it sounds good. It doesn't do too much to, kind of brittles it. What if I go into my more normal... Here's my more bassy, pre-driven sound. I think this is what we really want, though. Not bad. A lot of the octave in there. So let's see. All right, now I'm gonna see what just the. So here, we're gonna see what just the boost does to the channel 4 of the Mesa Road King. So here's just some drivey drive. Boost sounds pretty cool. I do like the boost. I honestly do enjoy that the boost is independent of the octave circuit, so you can use just the boost on its own. Like that to me makes it a unique feature, because I believe on the first version the boost is toggleable, but it is still can only be on when the octave circuit is on. So like theoretically you can turn the octave off to use just the boost if you want, but that is kind of cool that it's entirely independent. Let's add. It's a little bit of a floor shaker. Well, that's a resonating frequency. We're we're gonna take out the direct signal again so we can hear what just the octave is doing with some, like, a good amount of distortion. So that's with the boost. That's going into the channel 4. It's pretty doomy. Kill the boost. It says something about being able to do pinch harmonics like exceptionally well or something, because Doyle does a lot of the pinchies. Doyle does a lot of pinch harmonics. I'm not sure how much I hear it when, like, when doing pinch harmonics actually higher up. Maybe with some more octatone. So mine also seems to be doing some shakety-dakety some kind of something, which is fun. While we're here, I figured I may as well check it out on bass as well. If anybody does happen to have the Annihilator V2 and 1, I request that you put the Annihilator V2 in the effects loop of the V1, or else there was no point to any of this. All right, so now I'm in E flat with some active pickups. We'll see how it does with this guy. So we've messed around with it for a little bit. We've tried out some different stuff. What do I think of the KHDK Annihilator II? Well, frankly, it's like it's with no knowledge of the Annihilator version 1, the pedal is fine. The Annihilator sound is pretty dope, you know, octave down, a little bit of boost. It does sound good. Like, so with that being said, here's where this becomes a bit of a disappointment. The lack of effects loop killed this pedal for me. Like, the entire point, the entire reason the first one was cool, in my opinion, is that the effects loop was there. You can, you know, I sound like a broken record at this point, but the possibilities are literally endless. That's what made the Annihilator dope. This guy is an octave pedal. It sounds like an octave pedal. This guy kind of gets that glitchy kind of the whoop-whoops kind of deal, which is fine. It's part of it. It's kitschy. It's whatever. The claims of it sounds like another instrument, you know, playing alongside is not super accurate with this one, especially with the lack of effects loop, because, you know, I could see with, you know, using your effects loop, sending your wet signal to like a bass amp, like a whole separate thing, and then being able to like pan them, you know, stuff like that is like just such huge game-changing, rig-changing features that are sorely missing from this. The octatone isn't a huge game changer at all for me. It's a low-pass filter, like fun. It changes your octave signal a little bit. It takes it from subby wub to glitchy. The higher up you go on this, like, it doesn't sound bad cranked up the octatone, but it does start to, that's when I would notice the artifacts, the digitaliness. When the octatone is all the way to the left, it's not bad at all. But, you know, looking forward into the future, being hopeful, whatever, I would like to propose an Annihilator version 3 with some features from both of these guys. I kind of like that the boost is independent. On a hypothetical version 3, we could have like the separate boost and an effects loop. Like, it'd be kind of cool if you could turn off the boost on and off. You know, but obviously still having the effects loop on version 3, if there is a version 3, please. But the blender feature on the first one is actually a effects loop mix, because the effects loop's in parallel, and you can mix the effects into that octave signal, and that is even more beautiful. Like, that's great, and I like the effects loop with the blender, but maybe the independent boost on a third Annihilator. So if you can find yourself one of these for cheap, go for it. If you cannot, it's probably fine. So I guess hold on to your V1s. Or sell them. Just start selling the V1 so I can get one, finally. Like, KHDK has been making some really cool stuff. I really love my Scuzz box. It's just gross, Velcro-y fuzz. I think it's a fairly unique one. The Annihilator version 1 is awesome. Like, the Gary Holt has his EQ, the paranormal EQ or whatever. Just like a lot of cool stuff. They do have some duds. Hopefully they'll make another version of this and turn it around. But I enjoy the sound for what it is, but it's like I would love to be able to put the like some effects on that wet signal. You know, if you've got an effects loop on this guy to help with the tracking, you could even put like a very short delay or like a vibrato or something to give it some separation from your dry signal to make it sound even more like two different instruments, you know? Take your wet octave signal, send it into my DAW, put a whole Helix native plugin on it, and suddenly I've got like a whole effects chain and everything that I could do just with that signal. None of this is possible with the Annihilator V2, and it costs the same price. It's like a quarter of the pedal. It just doesn't live up to the first one at all for me. I don't need the octatone control. I can do that in an effects loop. That is the draw, that's the usefulness of the Annihilator, in my opinion. Please. But yeah, so hit me up, because if you can mod mine back and put the effects loop in there, I will be I'll be gravy, dude. Thanks for sticking around. Hope I didn't piss anybody off too much. Have a pedal day.